Have you ever noticed how the little things start to change as we get older? You go to open a jar and realize your grip isn't what it used to be. Climbing the stairs feels like a mini workout. And bending down. That takes more planning than it should. At first, you brush it off. Just a bad day. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe it's the weather. But then those moments become more frequent, and you start to wonder, is this just what getting older feels like? That question, quiet, a little unsettling, is what brings many people into my office. They're not looking for miracle cures. They just want to feel like themselves again. To trust their body. To move without hesitation. To live with energy, not just endurance. The truth is, aging is inevitable. But losing strength? Losing confidence in your own body? That doesn't have to be your story. And believe it or not, the first step might be as simple as reaching into your fruit bowl. Today, we're diving into 5 fruits, yes, fruits, that have shown powerful effects in supporting muscle health, reducing inflammation, and helping you maintain your independence longer. These aren't exotic superfoods with names you can't pronounce. These are everyday fruits. But used wisely, they can become part of your quiet revolution against aging. 1. Avocado, the anti-inflammatory powerhouse. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood heroes in your kitchen. No, not kale. Not turmeric. I'm talking about the soft, creamy green fruit that's become a brunch cliché, the humble avocado. You've probably heard it's good for your heart, maybe even for cholesterol. But very few people know that avocado is quietly one of the most effective natural allies we have in protecting aging muscles from breakdown, stiffness, and long-term weakness. Why? Because at the heart of age-related muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, is something called chronic inflammation. As we get older, our bodies become more prone to these low-level, invisible fires inside us. They don't cause fevers or rashes. They don't make the headlines. But they quietly interfere with how your muscles repair themselves, how your tissues regenerate, and how well your body can hold on to strength. Now, avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats. The exact type of healthy fats that help cool those internal fires. These fats help lower inflammation, which means your muscles are less under attack every day. That matters deeply, especially if you already feel sore in the morning or take longer to recover from something as simple as a walk. But that's just the beginning. Avocados are also a potassium powerhouse. In fact, gram for gram, they contain more potassium than bananas, a mineral absolutely essential for muscle contractions. Without enough potassium, your muscles can cramp, twitch, or feel weak. Add to that a healthy dose of magnesium, and you've got a 1-2 punch that supports muscle balance, stability, and even heart rhythm. Then there's vitamin E, an antioxidant that shields your muscle cells from oxidative stress, which is just a fancy way of saying, the daily wear and tear of life. And don't forget fiber, over 10 grams in one avocado, which helps regulate blood sugar and prevent the energy crashes that often follow processed snacks or carb-heavy meals. It's no exaggeration to say that avocado is like nature's prescription for aging strong. Not just for bones, but for flexibility, stamina, and daily mobility. Now, let me tell you a story. Her name was Clara. 72 years old. Retired schoolteacher. Sharp-witted. Loved crossword puzzles and walking her golden retriever, Milo. But she came to me with a complaint I've heard far too often: my legs cramp every night. Sometimes so bad I cry out loud. I stretch. I drink water. Nothing helps. We ran tests. Her magnesium was borderline low. Her potassium just a hair under normal. But most of all, her inflammation markers were quietly elevated, the slow burn I mentioned earlier. Instead of reaching for prescriptions first, I asked her one simple question: are you open to a dietary change? She chuckled. If it'll let me sleep, I'll eat whatever you tell me, even if it's boiled seaweed. Thankfully, it wasn't. I recommended she start with just half an avocado a day. Nothing fancy. Just slice it into her breakfast, or mash it on toast. Keep everything else the same. 2 weeks later, she called me. "Doctor," she said, "I'm sleeping through the night. My walks in the morning feel lighter. I don't know what kind of green magic you gave me, but I'm not stopping." It wasn't magic. It was just the right food, given the chance to work. Clara now has her routine: toast, avocado, a sprinkle of sesame seeds, and a little lemon juice. It's her ritual, and her strength. You don't need to overhaul your whole diet. You don't need supplements with names you can't pronounce. You just need a few consistent, nourishing habits. Avocado is one of them. You can blend it into smoothies with spinach and almond milk, pair it with boiled eggs, or even try it as a healthy dessert. Ever had avocado chocolate pudding? It's creamy, delicious, and your muscles will thank you. And don't worry if you're watching your blood sugar or blood pressure. Avocados are low in sugar, cholesterol-free, and packed with fats that actually support heart health. They help you feel full without crashing later. So if you've ever wondered whether food could be medicine, avocado is living proof that yes, it can. 2. Tart cherry, recovery and sleep in one glass. Sometimes, aging feels like waking up tired before the day even starts. Your feet hit the floor and your legs already feel like they've run a marathon. Your shoulders ache before you've lifted a thing. And if you've ever gone for a walk, done some gardening, or stretched a little too far, only to feel sore for days after, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't just soreness. This is your muscles crying out under the weight of chronic, low-grade inflammation. And it doesn't have to be from anything dramatic. With age, even everyday movements can trigger micro-tears in the muscle that take longer to heal, not because your body is broken, but because your recovery system is tired. Enter one of nature's boldest answers, the tart cherry. Not the sweet ones you find in summer picnic bowls. I'm talking about the tart, tangy cousins, often found dried or in juice form, that are packed with deep red pigments called anthocyanins. These compounds are like tiny firefighters rushing through your bloodstream, calming the inflammation that dulls your strength and drags down your energy. But their benefits go even deeper. Clinical research has shown that tart cherry juice helps muscles recover faster, especially after physical exertion. Athletes who drank tart cherry juice before and after intense workouts experienced less muscle soreness, fewer signs of muscle damage, and faster bounce-back time. And if these fruits can help marathon runners recover, imagine what they can do for someone simply trying to walk upstairs without aching for 2 days afterward. Even more remarkable, tart cherries naturally contain melatonin, the hormone that signals your brain it's time to sleep. Unlike pills or supplements, this melatonin comes wrapped in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents, making it a dual-action remedy. It helps you sleep deeper while helping your muscles rebuild overnight. This matters more than you might think. Sleep is when your body repairs, rebuilds, and regenerates. And many older adults struggle with it. Either they can't fall asleep, wake up often, or feel unrefreshed in the morning. That poor sleep becomes a barrier to healing, creating a frustrating loop of pain, exhaustion, and inactivity. So what happens when you add a glass of tart cherry juice to your evening? Let me tell you about Paul. Paul is 68. He's a retired mechanic with a dry sense of humor and a stubborn streak. He came to me complaining, "Doctor, I feel like I'm walking with cement legs every morning. Takes me half an hour just to feel normal." We talked about exercise, sleep hygiene, and diet, the usual. But I also asked him to try drinking 4 ounces of pure, unsweetened tart cherry juice before bed. He raised an eyebrow. "Juice," he said. "I thought sugar was the enemy." "But this isn't soda," I told him. "It's medicine disguised as fruit." He gave it a try. 2 weeks later, Paul returned with a different kind of stubborn look, the satisfied kind. "You know what?" he said. "I'm not dragging myself out of bed anymore. The stiffness is still there a little, but it fades faster. I feel like I gave my body permission to heal at night. His words stuck with me, permission to heal. That's exactly what tart cherries offer, not just relief, but restoration. A quiet nighttime assistant, helping your muscles reset while you rest. And it's easy to incorporate. Just make sure it's 100% tart cherry juice, no added sugars. If you're sensitive to liquids before bed, try tart cherry capsules, or sprinkle dried tart cherries on yogurt or oatmeal earlier in the day. They're low on the glycemic index, making them safe even for those managing blood sugar. Of course, always talk to your doctor before adding something new, especially if you're on medications like blood thinners. But generally speaking, tart cherry is one of the gentlest, most effective natural aids for older adults trying to stay mobile, sleep well, and feel less like their body is working against them. Because you deserve to feel lighter when you wake up. You deserve mornings that don't start with a groan. And sometimes, the first step toward healing begins not with a pill bottle, but with a glass. 3. Pomegranate, fueling muscles through blood flow. There's something almost regal about the pomegranate, the way its ruby red seeds sparkle under the light, hidden behind thick skin like a treasure waiting to be opened. But beyond its beauty lies something far more powerful, especially for aging muscles that feel tired, slow, or resistant to movement. You see, one of the most overlooked keys to strong muscles isn't just what you eat, it's how well your blood carries oxygen and nutrients to your muscle fibers. As we age, our circulation weakens. Blood vessels stiffen, capillaries narrow, and less oxygen reaches where it's needed most. That's where pomegranate comes in. This fruit is rich in natural compounds like polyphenol and punicalagins, which help reduce oxidative stress, the internal rust that slows down recovery and fatigues your muscles faster than it should. But even more importantly, pomegranate helps boost nitric oxide production in your body. Nitric oxide acts like a signal that tells your blood vessels to open up, relax, and allow more blood to flow freely. That means more oxygen delivered to your muscles during movement, and faster removal of waste products like lactic acid after activity. The result? Less soreness, better stamina, and quicker recovery, even if you're not doing anything more intense than a walk through the park or a few laps around the house. In one study, older adults who consumed pomegranate extract before physical activity reported feeling more energetic and less fatigued. Another trial showed faster recovery times and reduced muscle soreness even in people who weren't regular exercisers. But beyond the lab results, let me tell you about someone named George. He's 74, retired carpenter, with a love for gardening that never left him. For years, he struggled with stiffness after working in his yard, knees that locked up, shoulders that throbbed, and a body that begged for rest after just an hour in the sun. When we spoke, I suggested trying a small glass of pomegranate juice, around 4 ounces, before heading outside. He was skeptical, but curious. If it grows flowers, he joked, maybe it can help grow energy in me too. 2 weeks later, he smiled as he told me, it's like my muscles are happier now. I finish pruning and still feel like walking around the block. What he didn't know is that pomegranate also supports mitochondrial health, those tiny power plants inside every cell that generate energy. The healthier your mitochondria, the more stamina you have for simple pleasures like weeding a flower bed or standing at the stove to cook for someone you love. And here's the bonus, you don't need to stick to the juice. You can eat the seeds, called arils, straight out of the fruit, sprinkle them over oatmeal or salad, or blend them into smoothies for a tart, refreshing kick. If you're watching your sugar intake, go easy on the juice and favor the seeds, which give you fiber along with antioxidants. Choose 100% pomegranate juice with no added sugars and stick to a small serving, the benefits come from consistency, not quantity. So the next time you feel that heaviness in your legs or that sluggishness in your muscles, remember that the road to better circulation, stronger movement, and more vitality might just begin with a fruit that's been quietly waiting on your grocery shelf all along. 4. Prunes, muscle maintenance and regeneration. If there's one fruit that's been unfairly pigeonholed as, just for digestion, it's the prune, that soft, wrinkled, sweet little dried plum that many people associate with fiber and nothing more. But what most people don't know is that inside this humble fruit lies one of the most powerful muscle-supporting packages in nature, especially for older adults trying to maintain strength and mobility in a world that often seems to move too fast. Prunes are packed with antioxidants, including chlorogenic acid, neochlorogenic acid, and rutin, all of which help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, the twin enemies of aging muscles and joints. But what really sets prunes apart is their impact on something called IGF-1, or insulin-like growth factor. This is a hormone your body naturally produces to stimulate muscle repair, regeneration, and growth. As we age, IGF-1 levels decline, which means our ability to build and maintain muscle declines with it. But the polyphenol in prunes have been shown to help reactivate this pathway, encouraging muscle cells to grow, rebuild, and stay firm. One lab study found that prune extracts actually increased muscle cell size and protein synthesis, the biological foundation for strength. Imagine that, a fruit in your pantry quietly telling your body, you're still strong. Let's build. And there's more. Prunes are one of the best natural sources of boron, a trace mineral that plays a critical role in how your body uses calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D, all of which are essential for healthy bones and muscle contractions. This is crucial for preventing both sarcopenia and osteoporosis, two conditions that often go hand in later life. And while yes, prunes are famous for their fiber, and rightly so, that fiber does more than keep your digestion moving. It helps regulate blood sugar, preventing energy crashes, and supports a healthier gut environment, which improves nutrient absorption. When your digestive system is working well, your muscles receive more of the protein, vitamins, and minerals they need to thrive. Let me share the story of my Aunt Helen. She's 76, sharp as ever, but used to groan after her morning walks. "Everything feels stiff, like my joints forgot how to bend," she'd say with a half smile. I suggested she try adding 5 prunes to her breakfast each day. She laughed at first, "Aren't those just for folks with slow bowels?" But she gave it a shot. A month later, she called me and said, "I think you've oiled my hinges. My legs feel younger." Now she keeps a jar of prunes on her kitchen counter like a daily vitamin. And you can, too. They're incredibly easy to enjoy, snack on them straight from the bag, chop into oatmeal, blend into smoothies, or mix with nuts for a homemade energy bite. Despite their sweetness, prunes have a low glycemic index and don't cause blood sugar spikes when eaten in moderation, making them a safe and nourishing choice even for those managing diabetes. So the next time you see a prune, don't think of digestion. Think of growth. Think of restoration. Think of the quiet message it carries, that even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your muscles are still listening, still building, still waiting for you to feed them what they need to stay alive. 5. Apple, the forgotten muscle booster in the peel. We've all heard the saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away," but what if I told you that same apple, the one sitting innocently in your fruit bowl, could be quietly protecting your muscles from the slow, invisible erosion of age? Not just through vitamins or fiber, but because of something remarkable hidden in its skin. Apples are more than just convenient snacks, they're a complete package of muscle-protecting compounds, especially if you eat them whole, with the peel on. The secret lies in a powerful natural compound called ursolic acid, which is found in high concentrations in apple peels. Ursolic acid has been shown to increase levels of IGF-1, the same growth factor we saw activated by prunes, while simultaneously reducing levels of a protein called myostatin, which tells your body to stop building muscle. The less myostatin you have, the more potential your body retains to maintain and grow lean muscle mass, even as you age. In studies with older adults and lab models, ursolic acid has been linked to better muscle retention, improved strength, and even reductions in fat accumulation, a critical marker for aging healthfully. But that's only part of the story. Apples are also high in quercetin, a flavonoid with potent antioxidant effects that help protect your mitochondria, the energy factories inside every cell, especially muscle cells. Healthy mitochondria mean more energy, more stamina, and a greater ability to resist fatigue during everyday movement, whether it's cleaning the house or playing with your grandkids. And then there's the fiber, particularly pectin, a soluble type that not only helps regulate blood sugar, but also supports a healthy gut microbiome. When your gut is balanced, your body absorbs nutrients more effectively, meaning your muscles get the fuel they need to stay strong. Apples aren't flashy. They're not exotic. But in their simplicity, they deliver a level of strength that many people underestimate. I remember one of my oldest patients, Mr. David, a 79-year-old war veteran with a quiet smile and the habit of doing light yard work every morning. I once asked him what his secret was, expecting a list of supplements or some complicated routine. But he just grinned and held up a red apple. "One a day," he said, "with the skin. Keeps me regular, keeps me moving, keeps me young." In one study from the University of Iowa, researchers found that ursolic acid not only stimulated muscle growth in aging mice but also improved glucose control and reduced body fat, a trifecta of benefits for anyone over 60. And the best part? Apples are portable, affordable, and easy to enjoy. You can slice them into oatmeal, pair them with nut butter, or just eat them plain. Just make sure you leave the peel on, that's where the magic lives. If you're worried about sugar, rest easy. Apples have a low glycemic index, especially when paired with a bit of protein or healthy fat. So the next time you reach for a snack, remember that one simple apple could be one of your greatest tools in staying strong, mobile, and full of life, not in some distant, idealistic way, but in the quiet, steady way that really matters, day by day, bite by bite, building strength where it counts. So now you've met them, 5 humble fruits that often sit quietly in kitchens and grocery shelves, easily overlooked, yet remarkably powerful in helping you preserve one of life's most essential and underrated treasures, your strength. Not the kind of strength that wins medals or breaks records, but the everyday kind that lets you walk without hesitation, rise from a chair without bracing yourself, carry groceries with ease, and wrap your arms around someone you love without pain. Each fruit, avocado, tart cherry, pomegranate, prune, and apple, brings its own unique support to the table, soothing inflammation, guarding your cells with antioxidants, nourishing your muscles with critical vitamins and minerals, restoring your sleep and energy through natural compounds, and balancing your metabolism through fiber that feeds your gut and fuels your life. You don't have to eat all of them, and you don't have to be perfect, but what truly shifts the course of our health, especially as the years pass, is not some grand overhaul or fleeting trend, but the quiet, consistent choices we repeat day after day. Maybe it's adding half an avocado to your breakfast, a small glass of tart cherry juice before bed, a few prunes with your morning coffee, some pomegranate seeds tossed onto your salad, or an apple with the peel, tucked into your bag as a companion for later. Whatever form it takes, it matters more than you think. These aren't glamorous fads designed to impress, they are nature's quiet allies, meeting your body where it is with compassion and care, helping you keep building strength with every gentle step forward, no matter how many candles are on your cake. I've seen this unfold in the lives of real people, Clara finding restful sleep and energy with avocado toast, Paul waking up lighter after embracing tart cherry juice, George reclaiming joy in his garden with the help of pomegranate, Aunt Helen walking with ease again thanks to prunes, and Mr. David holding on to youthful vitality through the simplest ritual of eating an apple each day. These stories aren't extraordinary because they're dramatic, they are extraordinary because they are real, because they reflect what's possible when we treat our bodies not with punishment or pressure, but with consistency, curiosity, and compassion. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these fruits? Have you felt a difference? Share your experience in the comments, because your journey could spark hope for someone else just beginning theirs. If this message resonated with you, give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Forever Healthy Seniors. This space is your space, a place for wisdom that works, stories that matter, and habits that heal. You are not fading. You are still growing. You are still here. And you are, in ways you may not even realize yet, stronger than you think.